if you were struggling finding the right way to do your color corrections, this lesson will be just perfect for you. So let's start straight away. We already have our contrast here, eyes, etc. And looking at this background, it's a little bit too calm still. I was worried before that it will be too strong, but I want to get some more color out of the background and maybe get some balance on the face. I feel still something not really right, too colorful, maybe a little bit too much saturation. So I will try to solve this issue right now. And let's start with the face. That will be the right step, and I really feel there might be a little bit too much going on the face. So what I would do, I would choose hue saturation. I'm going to call this desaturate, or it can be saturate, whatever you're doing. And also I will choose vibrance. I will compare which one is working better. So the easy way will be to go with vibrance and lower down vibrance. Why vibrance and not saturation? Because vibrance seems to preserve better the natural skin tones that exist. As you can see, I cannot really desaturate this fully. So this is the first thing you could do over here. Though I would rather prefer to try experiment a little bit more with hue saturation and find out which colors I'm not really happy about fully, and that would be the fact that this image might be a little bit too yellow, too orangey. So there's few ways you can work with the colors that already exist over here, so like yellows and reds, or also you could, for example, choose the color that let's say which color we don't really have on the face. That would be somewhere around greens maybe. I will try to go with greens here, and let's have a look how it's going to work for us. I'm going to hit here, so like it's yellows obviously, and what I would do, I'll try to maybe lower saturation, as you can see, or lower lightness in this case. That should also work rather well for this. As you can see, like we're just lowering lights of the color, and it's also doing a sort of really good job for us. But I wouldn't do this here. So like I want to lower saturation just a little bit. Let's have a look. It's I feel it's looking a little bit better. Also, maybe lower some lights for the reds, because they are like too much into my face. So like I will lower that, and I feel it looks better. And also let me check normal yellows, if I could maybe lower this a little bit. Just the thing is, I don't want to overdo, so like I'm really trying to be careful, and I feel this image has a little bit more sense right now. The colors are not really too extreme right now. If you feel it's too much, you just can work with opacity a little, but I didn't want to have too many colors on the image, and I feel right now it's a little bit better. Though I will not lower the yellows, I think, or at least lights, because it might be a little bit too much. But I'm going to restore this a little bit for more balance for sure. So like a little bit down over here, opacity, maybe down to around 60. And right now I want to work on my background. So there's few ways working with the background. My favorite, color balance or selective color, and I think the color balance will work just fine. So also there will be a few different ways. Let me create 3 color balance, and that will be background. I'm going to call this BG, and this will I call shadows, and this one I call highlight. Maybe highlights / midtones. Even though like dominate with highlights, but I like to experiment that way. Sometimes we can add a little bit more for midtones. So let's start with shadows at first. And I will go to select, color range. I'm sorry, of course, that is wrong. I go to image and apply image, and I will apply shadows. Yeah, so let's check invert here to make sure that we apply shadows. And then I will really work with shadows, but at first, before I start working, I will change blending mode to color to not affect the contrast, because it will cause some banding and some other crazy things. And let's go to shadows, and for sure I want to work with the background, so like increasing the blue color can change this image drastically. Though like it's giving us really interesting results even if we go so extreme and for cyan, but it's not something I'm looking for, not for such an extreme point. So like, and also we need to be careful to preserve the hair, like, so have a look which color has the hair, and now like we can literally a little bit manipulate with the background color. It's a little bit better, maybe 1 point more and 1 point more for cyan, and this is the color I like a little bit more at the moment. I need to have a look at the shadows because we affected them, of course, over the face. So like the yellows are the reds are calmer right now, even we took light before, etc. And then I'm going to highlight midtones, and I will do the same thing but just inverted. So like I won't invert this box, but right now, as you can see, I will have the highlights visible over here. So according to how it's supposed to be, as you can see, some midtones also it's catching. So according to what it's supposed to be, for the highlights I should apply yellows and reds. Though like I'm not sure if that would work really well if I apply reds to the highlights, because obviously the reds mostly exist in the midtones over here. So like I would go yes with yellows just a little bit, and of course blending mode color before, after, just to restore what we have. And for highlights, I rather prefer them being cold, so I would rather try to add even a little bit of cyan over here, because like I have a little bit actually magenta highlights which I don't necessarily like. And also I would try midtones over here, and for the midtones I could actually add just a little bit of red color if that is necessary, like the before, after it is warmer. So like maybe it could be a little bit too much for reds, I believe, and maybe around this the image looks as I do like it. So like that's our colors. Like this is how it looks like before, after. We even out some of the face, though we lost also some colors for the shadows. So like I even lowered the opacity from my desaturation before, and this would be something I really like. Let's have a look before, after. But though it would be like really up to you, I felt it was too saturated. And there is few other methods you can do if you feel you need to improve background a little bit more. The best way to use for me would be trying with color range. So I would go through select, color range, and let's try how the colors. Let's check the colors, how the colors look first. Cyans we don't have much. Blue also not truly visible. So I believe we won't work so much over here. I would rather go with sampled colors and try to see what I have. And like I would try to go with this way. Okay, then we have a mask which is not fully perfect. Let's have a look at the mask. And we would have to do something with it because it's affecting our hair, we don't really want that. So let me try to do once again the color range, and I will not try to choose the sampled color from the area, this fully shadowed area. I would rather take something neutral like that, and then it will be way easier for me to mask that, and I feel the selection will be looking better. So like what I'm doing, I will just mask what we have. So it might look a little bit complicated, but actually what you can see, we actually make our work much easier by doing all of these selections, because thanks to that we don't have to do everything manually. We just select the range and then we just apply the color. So it's like way easier process than trying to work with the background in any different ways. Let's have a look. The selection is quite correct now, and I would like really go with color balance, and it really doesn't really matter if you choose shadows or midtones or whatever. But as you can see, that gives us a lot of opportunities now with working with background. If you feel that you need to do something more with the background, if you feel you need to improve a little bit more on the background, that would be the right way of working. I'm not sure if I want to add a little bit more, maybe a little bit more cyan, so like the image will have more color. So like I really feel it's more suitable for this image having a little bit more of the cyan color. So I would stay with that. Maybe I will have a look and try to check how the midtones will work for me also. So like I could lower this to -1 and add a little bit more cyan, as you can see, for midtones, so like for this range of the image. So like that would look rather good, but this dark area really bothers me here. So like I have to sort it out rather with shadows to make this all nicely visible. But this is finally the result I truly like. I like the background. It's rather working very well with the skin, and nothing dominates too much above other elements. The model doesn't dominate over the background too much, and the background is somewhere out there, which is really perfect, I think. So I believe you enjoyed this beauty retouching. I will have a look if everything is correct. I hope you enjoyed retouching your own images. I hope you follow this image so you could really achieve nice results, maybe different results. I would be really interested to see where did you go with your image if you decided to take different direction than me.